Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Can you hear me? All right, let's see. I'm having some technical difficulties. All right, can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Holy crap. That was nuts. Yeah, technical difficulties, right? All right, so let me do a screen share here. I sent the link out. Let me see. I don't know, Brian, did you want to come on? Let me copy this. I don't know if you want to come on, Brian, whatever. It's all good. KG, I put the invite out, but let me get over here real quick. See if I can get. Am I not following you? I don't see. Hey, Brian, I'd like to have you come on. I thought it was following you. What the heck? Let's see here. Brian, I gotta be following you. Brian. Well, anyway. Yeah, Brian, I don't know. Can you send me a message and on Twitter and see if I can send you the link directly in case you want to come on. All right, so right now we've got a few people viewing. So we got 5 watching right now. Rebel Comics is here. Hello, Rebel. How's it going? Hey, real quick question. Does okay, Larry, KG, everyone's here. I put the link in. I put the link over in Dog Stars. So hopefully you guys see that. It's right there, and then I put a link to the show with it. But I'm trying to get Brian Krisk out here. What the devil, man? This is bugging me. Don't see it. Yeah, hey KG, if you want to come in, man, just go ahead and hit up that link real quick and I'll get you on. So anyway, tonight, just as a matter of just updating, I wanted to just quickly mention the fact that I have essentially finished the last page of Chango. The only thing I have left is in one of the reward tiers was the draw you into the book tier. Okay, that's fine, KG. You can hang out and chat. Hey KG, do you follow Brian Christgau? If you do, can you just send him the link? I thought I followed him. I don't know if I'm not, that's a serious oversight because I always, you know, I love his book and and stuff like that. I'm constantly sharing and liking his tweets, but I don't know what the heck is going on. If you have that, KG, if you could just send him that link and see if he wants to pop in, that'd be great. Anyway, so yeah, so essentially I'm done with the book. And like I said, there's a page there where people that did the tier for get drawn in the book, I just have to just draw those images in there, and just waiting to get all the photos back from the people. But essentially, all the art for Chango the Broken Veil, book 1 is done. And so it's pretty exciting. Hey, Rebel, you're at work. Yeah, I hear you. So that's really exciting. So I figured I kind of, talk about that tonight. I may probably announce it again tomorrow. Maybe I'll see if I can get on some streams to talk about it. Manny, not Manny, but E Ortiz was supposed to stream tonight. I was going to talk about it on there, but unfortunately he cannot make it. Trusty, I see that you're there. I don't know if you're drawing tonight or if you're able to, but if you want to definitely come in on the stream, that'd be great. But anyway, so it's just very exciting. I feel like I got others. Trusty, let me see if I can have him join the stream here. There we go. All right. Hey, Trusty, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
Oh, man, pretty good. Not too bad for Veterans Day.
I was going to say happy Veterans Day, man.
Today. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm celebrating Veterans Day, myself a veteran, by saying that I've actually, in essence, have completed Chango the Broken Veil as of 25 minutes ago. So that's pretty exciting. And as I was stating, I'll probably see about getting on Manny's stream tomorrow or something, and maybe mention it there again.
Definitely.
But yeah, so it's pretty exciting. So now tonight I'm just going to be drawing one of the characters from one of my other projects that I did in the past that we're going to be doing a Kickstarter for, Scarlet Knight from the Red 10. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exciting. I backed the Red 10 the other night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
E Ortiz was telling me about it, and I said that sounds too cool. I got to get that.
Yeah, it'll be out, and we're gonna be putting out book 1 and 2 at the same time. So if you missed the first book, you'll be able to get that and the second act. So it was 10 issues. I remember working on that. It was pretty daunting. You're an independent publisher. You're looking to bite off a 10-issue, story. which is kind of unheard of. But we did it, man. Took a while to do, but we got it done.
You said that was self-published?
Yeah, initially it was, and so we put that out, and when we put it out, we were doing micro distribution. So we were actually calling, like comic book chain stores in Chicago and New York and stuff like that, California, and gauging interest. And we were actually getting, we got a few sales. I mean, quite a few. And we distributed issue 1 that way. And, we're prepping and finishing up issue 2. And then Diamond, caught wind of it, and Diamond doesn't like to be cut out. You know what I'm saying? they play the middleman, right. So they step in and say, hey, we got an offer for you, whatever. So we decided, me and Tyler James, the writer on the series, they said, all right, fine, we'll distribute through Diamond, and so we reissued number 1. Remastered it. Hey, Cold Piece, how's it going? Remastered it, did some color changes, the cover's a little bit different, and that sort of thing. And so there's actually 2 number 1s. There's the Diamond number 1, and then there's the micro distribution number 1, and they do look completely different. And so the number 1 micro distribution is very rare. But there are some people that have it. I was actually talking to a guy that was like, man, I got 2 of the micro distribution, 3 of the micro distribution number 1s, and a couple of the Diamond number 1s. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And so we're gonna be putting out the whole series in one shot in a Kickstarter. So.
Yeah, that is really cool. Now, the one you sent to Jimmy, that was one of the hardcovers, right?
Yeah, that was a hardcover. Of the first act, the first 5 issues.
And there's a pretty good contest going on, right, for people who back the book?
Yeah. So, yeah, Copies, you saw how I put that in there in the background. I did the other night. Did you see that, Trusty? I did that Black Lincoln, one of the villains from the book, the Red 10, and I was shouting out. Yeah, I put dog stars in the back. I put.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But anyway, yeah. So right now, I think it's still running. You can enter to win a $200 gift pack that has basically the comics that inspired the Red 10. For those that are unaware of what the Red 10 is, it's not like Agatha Christie's meets the Avengers, or the Justice League. It's how we would kill off the Justice League if DC Comics were crazy enough to let us. So a lot of the characters that are in the book are like analogs of the Marvel and DC characters, especially DC characters. And it was one of those things where it was like, superheroes are constantly getting killed and they're getting brought back to life. Well, we're killing our heroes off and they're staying dead, So in that respect, a lot of other people were saying that it has like a Watchmen vibe to it. I can see that. But what it is when you're like, every comic story has been told, essentially, right?
Oh, sure.
And so it's just a matter of kind of finding that angle where you can just be a little bit different, and just kind of tell it in your own voice. So it's what we did. So when you read the Red 10, you'll see as you're reading, it's like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with this and I'm familiar with that, but it's not a direct swipe. You're just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like an homage or that sort of thing to the comics that we like, or the storylines that we enjoy.
Sure.
So then so with the campaign, the second act is going to have a bonus story at the end of it, some other pinups and stuff like that. This is a pinup that I'm doing layouts for right now. Probably going to do a whole series of pinups for that. Yeah, so it's getting pretty excited to do that. Getting pretty excited to see, the coloring and the lettering coming back on Chango, and then, once all that work is done, we get the final edits, and then, get the thing printed and then distributed out. Unlike Manny with Skunk Girl, he already had everything done. He just had to retool a few things. I had to actually finish drawing it, but right. I wanted it, I kept myself to a constant schedule. So it was like, 5 nights a week, I'm in the studio putting out, putting my drawing time in and getting the pages done. So my big thing is just getting it done so that, I can fulfill it in a decent time. So I know I had shot for November, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be delayed a little bit. So it's probably not going to, by the time the coloring, lettering, and printing is done, it's probably not shipping till January. But that's okay, because it's close enough. I just don't want to be a year out from when I said, that I was going to put the thing out.
Hey, January is my birthday month, so that'll be perfect for me.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So I see that you put some more work on that piece.
I didn't do anything over the weekend. Just, family stuff. Some just spending time with the wife, and then, taking my dad out last night. So, and then just being wiped out. We went to my nephew's football game on Friday night, and it was down in the 30s. Oh, so yeah, that cold just really saps you, when you're out.
I did not miss that at all. Since I moved down here in Florida, it's like I hear my son and my kids up north, my family up north, talking about, it was 30 degrees, it was 40 degrees. I'm like, well, it's 75 here and sunny.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, actually, I like having 4 distinct seasons. So I like not having to cut grass for a while.
I'm an old dude. Trusty. So.
Well, so am I.
Oh, really? Are you in your 50s?
Yeah, I'm 54.
How old are you?
54.
Oh, we're the same age. All right.
I love that.
I'm feeling that. Okay. Slepberg says they need life advice. Slepberg, what kind of life advice would you like? Because as we have just clearly shown here, we're older dudes.
That's right.
So we may actually have to pick up something along the way. So as you can probably see, based on the under drawing, okay, that this character is a female version of Batman.
All I can tell is a female with a cape. I couldn't tell it was a female version of Batman.
That's because my mug is right here. KG says he's even older than us. No wonder he just shows a picture of the parrot. Freaking Cold Piece would tear him up and say, "Oh yeah, you look like you're 70." Oh, he says he looks like a kid. I have seen Cold Piece. He's a young looking guy. It's because he's bald, so you can't see that he has gray hair. If I dyed my hair up, I would look like a 40-year-old myself.
Well, and you shaved off your beard, and I grew a Van Dyke. So we had to swap there.
Yeah. That definitely adds some age to your face. KG says, I don't have a camera. Don't worry about it, KG. We'll just fantasize that you're actually like 35 and that, you're just telling us that you're in your mid 50s to make us feel better.
Right. You're in Hawaii. You sort of look like Tom Selleck. So
Exactly. He's got what did he drive? Was that a Camaro or what was that he drove? I forget.
oh gosh.
What was that he drove in the show? Anyone
I don't
know?
remember.
I don't remember either. I remember I've seen the show. I just can't remember what the heck car was. Maybe was it a Mustang?
I mean, I can hear the theme song in my head, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I know, right? Ah, Ferrari. Yeah, it was a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it a Ferrari? Yeah, it was a Ferrari. Yeah.
It was a Chevy Vega hatchback.
Well, it certainly wasn't a Gremlin. I don't think those things even came in a red. It was either that dystopian blue or that green.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
like that dingy Irish spring green.
Well, it's manly, yes.
I don't know what it was, but I tell you, a Gremlin. I went to a church where the pastor had one.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be like 27 years old, man. The thing was still running though. I'm like, dang, I didn't know the Gremlins were like this.
Golly.
Hey, thanks, Comic Book Bob. I appreciate you sharing and liking the stream. Kopi says a Chevette. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
You have a Chevy Chevette.
It was a Yugo.
Yeah, right.
My roommate, my senior year in college, a fraternity brother of mine, he needed a car. So his mom and stepdad gave him $4,000 to get a car. Now, back then, you could get a really good used car for $4,000.
Oh,
right?
heck yeah.
But no, he wanted a new car. Well, the only thing he could get for $4,000 new was a Yugo. So that's what he got.
Yeah, at least it was new.
At least it was new, but the controls inside, they were like a toy car, the plastic. It looked like it was made by, Play School or something.
He could have bought a Mustang for $4,000. Oh,
I remember one time to troll him, the brothers picked it up and set it on the grass.
I remember my sister's now husband. They got married, and I think he either had it when he came into the marriage. He bought it like the first year that they were married. He bought a Pontiac Fiero.
Okay.
Remember, it was a 2-seater car. Had I think the engine was in the back, and the trunk was in the front. And he had this thing, man. He used to he took care of it. He pimped it out and everything. So the thing was starting after a few years, it's starting to get fun. I said, dude, man, you gotta stop dumping money into this thing. Just get rid of it. No, I'm not getting rid of it. It still runs good, And so then it was making some weird noise. And he goes, oh no, that's fine, that's fine. And then I think later that weekend, the thing, he was driving it and it catches fire.
No way.
Just freaking caught fire. I was like, we tried to tell you that was a piece of crap. Yeah.
Any idea what caused it?
It was a Pontiac Fiero.
Oh, there you go. I've said.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it right there.
Yeah, my first car was a Chevy Vega. It had belonged to my grandmother before that and was orange. But Dad showed me how to use Bondo to fix the bad areas, and then had it painted. So it wasn't quite so repulsive. Burned a lot of oil, though.
I see that Dark Admiral March has joined us here. Hello, Dark.
Ahoy, Dark Admiral March here.
Yeah. So who is Dark Admiral March here? Is he a creator or is he a comic fan supporter?
I just know Dark Admiral Marchair from first from the Alterna Comics fan group and the
Oh,
chats,
okay.
and then just hey, we say ahoy whenever we're in the same chat together.
Well, he just gave you an ahoy right now.
That's right.
Nice. And he's just, you know what? No, Dark Admiral March here. You're more than just a supporter. You're the reason why we do this. Not for supporters, man. And listen, I'm a supporter myself. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you and all the fandom that supports us creators and the work we do. So, you know, Trust, I used to do this a lot back in the day where I would do these, I would just kind of like with a brush tool, just kind of do this, the layout in the back,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get the form and function on it, then just kind of go over it in pencil and get that. And I've gotten away from that. And I remember saying to myself, yeah, I'm going to do this all the time because it really helps me to keep everything together.
I really like it too because you really can build the forms and sort of start to spot your blacks.
Yeah, without losing the where you are in the drawing, you know.
Yeah, because I know too many times in the past, you know, I've been drawing something and you know I've just put too much work into it when really it should have just been blacked out in that place. And if I had just thought about that ahead of time, I would have known and not bothered detailing it.
Yeah. Come on now, switch. There you go. So what is this piece? Was this a commission that you're working on?
No, I needed something to draw on the streams. I was like, okay, what am I going to draw next? And I thought, well, you know, as much as I've drawn stuff for Pope Fire, nobody's ever asked me to draw a raven. And I was like, so maybe I should draw a raven. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll go one or two better, not just do Raven and Starfire and Wonder Girl. And so
why not?
I found some reference I liked. I started putting it together, you know. And I think when all said and done, I think Pope Fire is going to buy it from me after all. So it's all good.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I tell you, I'm so I get such a you know, a sense of achievement. You know, drawing comics is hard, man. You know, it really is. You know, drawing. You know, you draw a sketch or you're drawing a single image piece or a pinup or something. You know, that's hard too. You know, but you know when you're going in there and you're just not feeling it. You know, you got to tell the story. You got to, you know, come out with interesting layouts and this sort of thing. Like the last 2 pages that I drew, I started actually penciling them out, and one was like almost done, and then I just threw the whole thing. I said, "This is crap. I don't like the way." And this is after putting, you know, 6-7 hours into it. I was like,
that's what you got to do sometimes. You know?
You know, and so I said, I've got to say, because you know, it's one thing. One of the worst things to do is when you get to the end of a comic, you know, whether it's a single issue, whether it's a, you know, graphic novel where you're telling a story over many, many pages. The worst thing that can happen is getting to the finish line and not having the gas or the inspiration to do the work you did in the beginning when you like those first few pages.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And so a lot of times you tend to like kind of slough off, even though it's not your intention. You're not trying to do that, but it's that thing when you're getting towards the end. I don't know. Did you ever run or races or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I ran track in high school.
Yeah, so you know how it is. So you're running the race, and you're starting off. You're good. You're pacing yourself. You get to the middle, and you're getting to that, you know, area. You're conserving energy, and you're tired. You're just tired, right? But you're at the finish line, and you say, man, it's like right there. So you start sprinting. It's not so much about the form or anything. You're giving whatever you got. The form can be ugly as can be, but you just want to get to the finish line, you know? And so it's the same thing when you're doing a comic. You get to those last, 2 or 3 pages, and the tendency is, oh, there's the finish line. So let me just, get there as quickly as I can and not worry so much about the form. I just want to make sure I have the result, and the result is that, oh, I'm finished. But what people ultimately always see, they see the beginning of the book, and then when they get to the end. And so I was listening to the original drawn Drink and Draw online with Dan Panosian and Joe Quesada and was it Jeff Johnson? I think it is.
Is it
And
Dave?
they were talking about. I'm trying to figure out who it was. They had Andy Kubert on, and so they were asking about his Wolverine project that he's working on. And so they said, well, what page are you on? He says, well, what I actually did is I did some of the pages in the beginning and some of the pages in the end. And now I'm just working on the middle page. And they're like, well, why would you do that? Because I want the beginning and the end to be that bookend, to be the very best that you can be. Because when people are reading a comic, they're not focusing on, so much in the minutia that's happening in the middle of the book. It's that beginning that sets everything up, and then the end. How does it climax? How does it finish? So you want to make sure that those pages that you do have the highest impact. And so I'm like, holy crap.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And the thing is, I've actually thought that to myself, but I'm like, oh man, but then continuity. What happens if you don't draw? You know what I'm saying? You always want to kind of be in a linear sense. Yeah, Dave Johnson. Thanks, Dark Admiral. It's Dave Johnson. Yeah, and so I'm like, well, you want to be kind of linear and make sure that you're staying continuity by going page by page. But man, when Andy, I was like, wow, you're right. That makes a lot of sense to do it like that way. Here's this guy's a freaking legend, and he does it that way. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that for my next book.
And if after doing the middle stuff, if you realize, oh, I could have done this last big scene better, well, just go redo it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when I would sometimes be asked to look at portfolios, when I was just sitting with my friends, at a show, because I would go and hang out with the guys from Tsunami Studios. And one of the things that I would tell the young guys that came up, I said, don't ever be so in love with something you've drawn that if the best thing would be to black it out, that you're not willing to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. And one of the things that the Chango comic has shown me is the value of that high contrasting graphic of the white and the black. And that was on purpose. I chose to do it that way because I was kind of going for a Magnolia-ish feel on the book. And so looking at his stuff, even guys like Fabio Moon, who did Umbrella Academy, he's got kind of like a Magnolia-ish flair to his stuff. But especially with the Magnolia stuff, it's really that he does so much with so little, and it's just so graphically gorgeous, and so when I'm doing these pages, it's like, wow, these are really there's a lot of blacks on this page, you know, um, and it's funny, you know, when you start working that way and saying to yourself, man, it's comics. Throw that heavy black over here, and you don't have to put line work on over everything. You know, don't be afraid. It's almost like liberating, you know, in a sense.
Sure. And you really start to sculpt the space with the blacks.
Yeah, right, exactly. And you get to see the nice silhouettes that can be, you know, created. Let me see if I can open a page here.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Mignola's work, you know, on Hellboy and before, is, you know, some of it looks so simple, right? But there's so much experience and so much thought that goes into that to get to that point. You know, it's not just something you can say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to, you know, draw without all this, you know, cross hatching. I'm just going to be big black shapes too. You know, you can try it. You're going to fail miserably unless you put in the work.
Yeah. Now, look, here's a page that has a lot of graphic content, but it's that high contrast. And what's neat about it is that it kind of isolates everything and allows you to tell. It's just, for whatever reason, when you do this, it's just very dramatic when you throw heavy blacks on, you know. And so, like, this is one of, actually, I really like the way this design came out, you know, using the white of the paper and then, you know, the blacks and everything to kind of separate things. But yeah, let me go back to over here. Yeah, so you know, that's the kind of thing that I was focusing on. And so I went through a lot of vials of Kohinoor ink doing this book.
All right. Oh, why did I do this?
So have I ever asked you if you ever considered doing a comic at all?
I don't think you've asked me that. I have in the past. I was working on something with the writer, and it was I really loved the idea and the story, but the problem is I had just so much going on, and I wasn't able to put in the time to get it done, to get the work done. And I'll be honest, I wasn't disciplined enough back then, and I was trying to overdraw everything, make everything the best thing I'd ever drawn, and so it took forever. And finally, I said, "This is not fair to him," you know. So I stopped that, and I said, "You know, I think you should find another artist because I'm not doing you any favors here."
Right.
But then another friend teaches a class at Front Range University, and I think that's in Colorado, on writing for comics. And he's written many comics. His name is Ron Fortier. And do you know Ron?
Ron and I are doing a project together.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah. I yeah, I'll talk about that in a second.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to finish your story.
I drew some stuff.
Quickly make just read off this comment by Kopi. It goes, Kopi says, yeah, lots of new artists should understand that a style like that comes from the mastery of the foundations of illustration. I think he's referring to that high contrasting look like a Mignola and then he comments that Bruce Timm had a similar style like that. Yeah, I mean, it was to me, whenever I looked at Bruce Timm stuff, it was like that, but it always had more of an animation flair to it for me. A lot simpler lines, but really just what he did with the minimal lines that he used was really amazing. And then Trusty agrees. Okay, so go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying, Ron and I became friends when I was, I sent out samples to everybody, and I got a call one day, and it was from Paul Pelletier, who was working with a small publisher in New England called Alpha Productions. And so they wanted me to do an 8-page story in their Totem Sign of the War Dog annual. And so I did, and I just penciled it. Somebody else inked it, but it turned out pretty good. And so then I had been working with Ron, and he asked if I wanted to do, something else. And so I said, sure. So I started working on a 24-page story featuring one of the side characters from Totem, but then they also were going to get me to draw Major Liberty, which was a character from their task force Alpha. And so she was a character that Ron had created, and Paul had drawn the first issues of Task Force Alpha. And so I jumped over and started working on that, and I got about, I think 16 pages in, and the company had to fold.
Wow.
That was when a lot of things kind of imploded.
Yeah.
So I've got that, and some of it saw publication in a pulp collection that Ron put together and is available on Amazon, but the inks are rough. So I'm not real crazy about it.
So you didn't ink it, you just did the pencils on it?
I just did the pencils on that, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Ron's teaching this class, and he asked some of his artist friends, as a surprise for his students, one of their final assignments was to write a 5-page story, a 5-page script for a comic. And unbeknownst to them, he was going to get artist friends to draw these 5-page stories. And there's no money in it, but it would be printed. You get a couple of copies, and you'd be helping out, a young creator. So, I wasn't busy at the time. I said, sure, I'll do it. But it had a tight deadline. It was right around Christmas time. So that really forced me to draw quickly for that, and to not obsess over things. And so I got it done, and it was okay. It was not the best thing I'd ever done, but it turned out okay. It was all right. And so then the next year he asked again, and I said, sure. Again, this was a little bit longer. Same thing, it turned out all right. And I did not spend every minute obsessing over it. So that was really good practice and a good lesson.
Yeah. It's but that's the way that comics is, because the thing with comics, drawing comics, it's about getting the story out as quickly as possible on the page, so that the reader is reading the words, looking at the pictures, kind of moving it along. Some artists take it to another level, and they want to make sure that all this, but you need to reserve that time that you put in where you're really deconstructing everything and just getting all the layouts just perfect. Hey, it looks like Adrian joined us. Adrian, how you doing, buddy? And that sort of stuff, I reserve that for like pin-up pieces or commission pieces, where that sort of thing is important, because people are going to be staring at that a lot longer than they are a panel.
Yes.
Or, a page. You got to be realistic about that. So if you ever look at artists that they draw one way in comics, but when you see their pinup work, it's like, holy crap. I remember seeing Paul Gullis's comic pages, and and I liked it. Okay, it was fine enough. Okay. And I said, oh, this is kind of cool. It was like, I like the character Master Kung Fu and everything like that. So, which was nice. But then I remember going to a convention and seeing Paul Gullisy pin-up pages, and just saying to myself, holy crap, this is the same guy that drew those pages.
Right.
Because it's like a whole like a whole nother level. So he had figured out a way to shorthand his style so that he can get the work done. And then when he was doing his own personal work with the pinup, that's where he put all the energy into it, you know.
Yes.
And so when you're an artist that way, I think it's important to remember that you know, if you want to tell stories as an artist, that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to kind of like sacrifice your artistic voice. The only thing you're really doing is saying, I need to tell the story. And that should be the most important thing, is telling that story, getting it out there so that you can get to the next project you're working on to tell that story. You know, and then in between commissions and things like that, that's where you put your focus on and get those things as tight and as nice as you want them.
Yeah, there've been I can't think specifically right now, but there have been artists that I've seen, and I like their comic work. You know, it was pretty good stuff. You know, but then I see stuff on, say, Comic Art Fans, and see some of the commission pieces that they've done for people, and just blown away. And I'm thinking, wow, I never realized this person was that talented.
Mm.
You know? Because they don't get a chance to show the comic work, because, like you said, it's more important. They're telling the story. They gotta keep you moving along. But when they're just focused on the one piece, they can really put a lot more detail and effort into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And having seen that, then I go back and look at their comic work again, and I have a new respect for their comic work.
Right, exactly. I see Adrian like my Paul Gullisy comment. He says, wow, that's a name I haven't heard often. His action scenes were fantastic. And they were. They were great. He did great action scenes. But if you ever see any of his like Black Widow drawings, it's just these like spy pinups that he would do. I mean, those things were like, they were insane, you know?
Yeah, I know I've got, you know, examples of his work in my collection, but I'm trying to remember which titles, because wait a minute, didn't he do one? It might have been an epic comic miniseries, like Six from Sirius.
That sound, yeah. Huh. Look that up, somebody.
Yeah, that's the first one that just pops in my head.
I need Adrian, KG, or somebody to do a quick check, or Cold Piece to do a quick check on Paul Gullisy comics.
Micronauts.
He did Micronauts?
I don't know. I remember
that was Michael
and Butch Geis on Micronauts, but I didn't collect it after that.
Wow, he worked on it seems like an odd thing, right? For Paul Gullisy to do, it must not have been anything that was memorable, because I don't even remember that. Oh, okay.
Of course, I didn't read everything either, so he might have a lot of stuff that I just didn't pick up. Wasn't there? Was he always paired with either a writer or did he ink his own stuff?
No, I mean, and I think he one of the inkers that inked him a lot was Dan Green. That's the name that sticks in my. Oh, Gene Day. Was it Dan Green? Gene Day. Dan Green inked him, but also Gene Day had inked him as well.
Okay.
Those are the two names that pop in my head. But yeah, he you know, one of the things that was interesting about his stuff is that he drew the eyes, especially on the females, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus is here.
Hey, Marcus.
What's up, Marcus? We're talking about Paul Gulacy right now. This is turning into the Paul Gulacy down memory lane. 6 from Sirius, 1 through 4. There you go. Adrian just found that, so that's it.
Good. My memory hasn't gone yet.
Now that one was that's a sci-fi thing, right? That's a sci-fi 6 from Sirius. Yeah. Was that a sci-fi book or was that like a spy book?
I think it was a sci-fi book. It's been so long.
I know, right? I know. You know what? I've got it. 6 from Sirius. Let's see.
I think I'm remembering him working with the writer, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Doug Mensch.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think that's the way you say it, Doug Mensch. Yeah, so on this one, it looks science fiction. So on this one, he inked himself, from what I can see here. Okay.
And was that an Epix comic series?
That was Epix, yeah. That was Epix Comics. But I mean, all right, let me see if I can. I'm gonna flip this over here to this screen. Oh, let's see here. Oh, got him. All right. So, can you see that now?
Yeah.
So here, all right, let's look at this image here. I mean, that's an amazing cover right there. You know, his woman, the way he drew woman was absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if I can find another. All right, but you see the eyes, like on this page?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can pull that up. Holy crap, that's really big. All right, look at that. So he used to like do these paintings too. Really amazing stuff. Let me see. I mean, look at this.
I know. Look at all that detail.
I mean, this you don't find. It's hard to find this in comics, you know. Now, and I believe he did all the art. He did pencils and inks on this, you know. But look at how well drawn everything is, you know. I mean, look at these trees, right? He didn't draw everything out. He just hinted with the inks on the leaves and everything like that, and then the coloring added the rest of it.
He made some happy little trees.
Yeah, I mean, but look at how beautiful that face is on that female. Gorgeous, the costuming. You see what I mean about the eyes? Look at the eyes right there.
Yes.
Yeah, he always made him just a little bit bigger, you know? And at first when I saw that, it was a little off-putting to me. But then the more I looked at his, I mean, look at that panel right there.
I know you can really be expressive when it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and he did it great. But you know, talking about the high contrasting shadows and stuff like that. I mean, just look at the way this is done. You know, he's got line work in there. You can't say he doesn't. You know, but he's got just the right amount. You know, and he's
if you can squint and still make out what's going on, then
yeah. I mean, that's great. Look at this the figure all the way to the right there. How it's the way you can tell it's in the back. It's got lighter detail, but it's still so well drawn and so well defined. You know, the shadowing in the face really brings the construction out, and it really does so much. So it's like, you know, you got to remember that drawing comics, no matter what style you're drawing it on, you know, I mean, Paul Gulacy is on another level, all right? But what he's doing here, anyone that is paying attention can do this, you know? You just got to practice at it. You know, it's like anything. Listen, at your age, my age, we've put a lot of work into drawing, and
Yeah.
so we understand these concepts, but a lot of comics that I'm seeing, and I'm excited for people that want to crowdfund their comics and that sort of thing. But man, I see Good Dog Presence here. What's up, Manny?
Hey, Manny.
Thank you, Manny. All right, he's wishing all the service people there happy Veterans Day. Someone is, he's shouting out to Marcus. Marcus is giving us all a burger. Marcus, I'm eating vegan lately. I know it's really bad. I know. But it's going great. I've lost some weight. I'm feeling great. Don't have any bloating. It's awesome. Anyway, just getting back to this. If you're thinking about putting a comic out and you've never done it before, the biggest disservice that you can do for yourself is putting out artwork that is not ready for prime time. And I'm not saying that your drawing is horrible, but if you don't get the concepts of lighting, of how to compose an image, how to make sure that your renders are not overwhelming, so that everything is readable, then not only are you doing yourself a disservice, but you're going to be scaring off people that potentially may buy more of your stuff down the road. I'm not saying your first thing out the gate needs to be perfect. Lord knows my first thing out the gate was almost forgettable, but there was enough there that I was attempting to do right that helped me to build upon that, so that every project I worked on, I was adding another layer and another layer of what I was learning along the way, so that it at least was presentable, so that whoever is buying my stuff, I feel that, well, I'm giving them the best that I can where I'm at right now, and enough for them to say, yeah, I'll get you the next thing that you put out. So you got to be careful if we're putting projects out that are not quite ready for prime time, because as we're trying to build this independent creator market and market our own individual properties and that sort of thing, we need to let the consumer know that we care and we're putting out good stuff. Adrian's adding a comment here. He's saying, my first experience with Paul's artwork was Slash Murad. A really close friend I met in that movement sent me a set of the miniseries thinking I would love it, and I did. And listen, what is it not to look at this? Look at this page here. I mean, Paul Gullisy was amazing. Look at that figure in the doorway. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's just a suggestion, really, of a figure.
Suggestion, but you're saying yourself, that is a fully realized illustration.
Right, your brain is filling out the rest of that figure.
Yeah, that's masterful, And this woman, his women are just, look, that's beautiful, man. I mean, that is just, yeah, that's gorgeous. I mean, I don't know how well this series did, but holy crap.
Well, I think it had a sequel, so I think it did pretty well.
Look at this page, though. You see that?
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
When you were talking a moment ago about like younger or newer artists, who maybe are not quite ready. One thing that I always loved were mini comics. And for example, this is a series that I learned about through a book called Castle Waiting by Linda Medley. It's one of my all-time favorite comic series. And in fact, I've got the whole thing collected into hardback volumes. But this was someone that she introduced, in like the letters page, Rachel Hartman. And, she just started, you see, it's very simple stuff. This is the first one. it's rough, but it's good. And this is a good way to do something, put something out there. And people might, spend $1, to get, a little mini comic. By the time she gets here, a few years later, her work is better. She's rendering a whole lot more. She's got, stronger blacks. And her storytelling is gotten really good. And I really loved this whole series. I made sure that whenever I saw she had something out on her webpage that I would order it.
Yeah,
you don't see a lot of these days.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Just we're just trying to get you a little bit bigger. That's really nice what you're working on there, buddy. Love that hair. That's gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
The hair on Wonder Girl there is amazing.
Yeah, that took a while.
Yeah,
but that comic that I was working on, we did, old ash can version.
Nice.
At the start with a couple of short stories, and the first story actually wound up being printed in Digital Webbing Presents.
Nice.
One of the issues. The colors were a little strong, but
yeah. So did you ink this?
Have it in there?
Did you ink this, or was someone else ink that?
I did. I inked it.
Okay, I can tell.
This, but look at all the text. In this.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Who wrote
grief.
that again?
Beg pardon?
Who wrote it?
This was written by S.A. Bennett or Steve Bennett. He wrote.
S.A. Bennett.
Yeah. Do you know him?
No, but S.A. Bennett is apropos. I mean, the guy's writing an essay in a comic.
Oh.
I thought you were making a funny.
I think he does a lot of like reviews or columns for ICV2, maybe. He wrote a series for Malibu, Ravagers, I think.
Yeah.
But what was really funny is we were at the Mid-Ohio Con together and we were selling these. And this one guy comes up to the table and he looks at our names and he goes, "Hey, you drew an 8-page story in Totem Sign of the War Dog Annual, didn't you?" And I was like, yeah, you're the one who bought that? He said, yeah. And you wrote this for Malibu, didn't you? And Steve said, yeah. And he said, I got those in my car. I'm going to go get them. Will you sign them for me? We're like, sure.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
That was pretty amazing, actually.
All right, let me catch up on a couple of these comments real quick. So Adrian is also stating that he agrees that Paul Gullissi draws some of the best women. Yep, absolutely. And then Sletberg is wondering the question of the age is why hot dog packages come in 8, but hot dog buns only come in packages of 6. The world may never know. It's like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? So Josh Chris inserts his comment about that you might burn your wieners, whatever that means. I'm kind of scared right now. I'm never going to Josh's house for anything.
I don't know where Sletberg's buying his hot dog buns, but I've only ever seen them in packages of 8 and 12. I
remember something about that. Maybe they come in packages of 10 and the hot dogs are in packages of 8 or something. Let's see. We got Marcus is saying fire to something. He must be saying fire to your beautiful illustration there. Then Cole Peace makes a comment about Marcus Matre about the drawing in Churrasco. Yes, I've got that framed ink book. It's pretty amazing. If you don't have it, you should definitely get it. It's freaking awesome. Framed ink. It's great. Castle Waiting, much like Fairy Tales, most started out doing short stories for anthologies. That is correct. That's how I got my start in the business. And Marcus is giving Josh a burger. I'm sure Josh appreciates that, Marcus. And Adrian is making a comment about Digital Webbing Presents. Gosh, that wasn't that long ago, right? It was maybe 10 years ago. Pablo Romero is now. Hola, Pablo. ¿Cómo estás? Pablo's in the house. Pablo is becoming a Twitter legend before our eyes as he is trolling the heck out of SJW. How shall I say it in a very kind way? He's just trolling really hard right now, and he's getting a lot of hate. but we all love Pablo. Uh, and yeah, that's it. So I think we're all caught up. Yeah, so let me get back to my drawing, doggone it. Okay. Yeah, so let me do a different screen share here. Boom. All right. So yeah, do we have any questions in the chat at all? Let me see. Trusty and nice. Okay, that's you commenting back.
Yeah.
Dark Admiral was saying that Captain Marvel is making them go nuts.
Yeah. Making Pablo's commission list go nuts too.
Oh man, right? I think Pablo's probably picked up. I'm just gonna take a guess. He's probably booked through the rest of the year on commissions.
Well, I know he was saying he had to like cut him off until maybe end of the month or so.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, I got Zaid Comics in the house. What's up, Zaid? Good to have you here. Hey, you drawing Pokemon tomorrow? Trusty?
My son will want to tune in for that.
Are we, man, you're having your stream tomorrow, buddy?
Yeah, my son, he's 24, but he's into game design. That's what he's studying. And, he is always telling me every day about the next stupid thing that they're doing to the new Pokemon games.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just crazy out there, man. It's too much. It's too much. It's like, I just don't. Dude, I don't know, man. It's just crazy out there. Everyone's triggered about everything, and it's like, oh man, how much more can we deal with this? Kopi's is saying, hey, Pablo, let me see. He's saying, Pablo Romero, are you adding a chromatic aberration to your 80s style coloring? Pablo's saying that he would have taken more commissions, but he's working on it. Doggone it, Pablo. Termina el comic primero. Finish your comic first, doggone it. So, Trusty, I'm going to throw this your way real quick after I get caught up with the chat. But Dark Admiral is asking about our thoughts on Michael Golden. So I'm going to let you take the first hit on that. But let me just catch up on the other ones here. I mean, Justin, what kind of games does he like? Okay, so he's just asking that you can. The Pikachu Challenge is on tomorrow on Good Dog Press. That should be neat. Co-piece to some, but very subtle. Okay, and he's saying yes. All right, Trusty. So.
First of all, my son, he's a big Pokemon fan, always has been his whole life, and he likes RPGs. He's really into the Dragon Quest series, and also a big fan of Fire Emblem. Really likes the new Fire Emblem game.
Nice. Where's my? So go ahead and give your thoughts on Michael Golden.
Michael Golden, oh my gosh. Michael Golden was absolutely brilliant. I mean, nobody's style looked like Michael Golden. And, sometimes you would look at it and the anatomy would be a little funky, but it just worked, and sometimes he'd like have a really, really thick arm or something, but it just worked. And it was so interesting. I loved his work on Micronauts and some of his Batman stuff. And I didn't read the NAM, but I know he did a lot on that. I just love Michael Golden stuff. I really do. And so I've got a fair amount of his stuff in my collection.
Yeah.
His face is very interesting too.
Keep talking, because I'm looking for something that I have of his that I want to show.
Oh, okay.
So keep everyone entertained as best as you can while I search.
Oh, dear.
You can do it.
I don't think so. I got very little sleep last night.
I will keep people entertained as they see my silhouette. Here's my studio. All right, it's a mess right now because whenever I'm working, it's a hot mess. Oh, darn it, I know I had that here.
Yeah, I can't find anything because everything's in those, long and short boxes, and they're stacked on top of each other. But have any of you guys seen on YouTube the comic storage drawers and cabinets that people make with the acrylic or plexi fronts, where so you can see a comic? And oh man, I see those. I'm like, I want to do that. That's what I want. Because if you have everything like that, you just pull out the drawer and everything's organized, then you're more likely to pull out something and reread it. When it's all stacked in boxes, it's hard to get to and hard to find anything. You're not going to reread anything. You're just going to, default to whatever trades or hardcovers you got on your shelf, because those are the things that are easy to pull down. Maybe
Exactly.
one of these days.
Like I say, trust me, people they want you to keep them entertained. All right, I got Pablo Romero all capping the hell out of us right now. Keep us entertained. And then and Manny is just tearing it up. Trust you. So you got a chant going.
Manny's doing his best Pope Fire impersonation is what he's doing.
Oh man. All right, so here's what I got. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, Michael Golden's Heroes and Villains. All right. And
nice.
By the man himself. And you recognize that icon.
It is familiar.
Before Prince knew he was the symbol. Michael Golden was doing it.
Oh, got it.
But yeah, I mean, this is it's a neat little book. It's got some neat sketches, stuff that he's done.
Why don't you put your camera and maximize it on the screen?
What's that?
Why don't you maximize your camera that pointed at you?
Okay. Yeah, let me do that. Since we're talking about Michael Golden, right? All right, so let's see here.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. Here's I'd say, like, his stuff looks great colored, but man, in black and white, it is just.
Yeah, but look at those thick arms, like on Wolverine and well, Hulk, of course, is going to have thick arms, but look at that arm on Wolverine, and it's just, man, that's like a tree trunk,
Yeah, no, it's great. But like you said, it works. Y'all forgot that he did G.I. Joe, huh?
Yep.
A lot of people forgot that, but he did G.I. Joe. Look at that.
Nice.
Creature from the Black. But here's another example of someone that's not afraid to throw ink down on the paper. It just go with it. It's a great look, and you guys all know who that is, right?
Yeah, Adrian does.
Yeah, Bucky O'Hare. He's like all over that. Look at that. It's like, you say so, man, that couldn't have taken him long to do it. It probably did it, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of glary, so look at that. Look at those dinosaurs. And the way he drew the female. Look at the face. So expressive.
Yep.
All right. So that's a cool image, right? Then bam.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That is sweet.
That is crazy. But so like, you see all the detail there, right? But everything is separated. Like, look at this big dark right here. Look at that big dark shape that he threw in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's just really just knowing what the heck it is you're doing. And obviously, Probably my favorite thing that he's ever done, the Nam, right? Probably.
Yeah, like I was saying, I never read any of it, but I knew he did it.
Yeah, it's freaking. It's if you ever get a chance to pick it up, you got to do it. It's just it's amazing.
I think I would appreciate it more now that I'm older.
Oh yeah, like his females they were cute. I mean, but he always did them well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they look like females, but I mean, look at that detail. I don't know. Like I said, it's a little glary, but look at that.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So much going on there, you know. And this is all in black and white, and it's like more. There's some more than that. You got to pick that up.
Yeah, I love that. Just the silhouette of the leaves framing figure in the background.
You see what I'm saying? But this is the thing that I'm talking about. If you're putting comics out, all right, and you're not understanding those concepts of using, these high contrast things to set your piece off, to bring them forward, because I've seen so much stuff of people that are putting stuff out as their first or second thing that they're doing, and it's like the only thing they're focusing on is making sure that the line work is fine. But then you look at it, it's like, holy dude, I have no idea what's going on this page or in this panel.
Right.
You know, everything looks the same. The same detail they put in the front, the closest to you, is the same amount of detail they put in the back. And it's like, well, you can't do that. You can't. It's very jarring on the eye. And when you're reading a comic, it ends up looking like a bunch of scratches on paper.
Yeah, that's another thing that I would, tell people a lot when I would look at their work, is that they really needed to differentiate their line weight to push and pull the depth of the scene. Too many of them had, just the same line weight on the foreground and the background. Yeah, look at that. That's good.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I have ink and I'm using it.
I mean, you look at those faces, and the structure of that head, that's crazy, but dang, it works.
Right? It's just freaking, it's quick. But this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, I use these techniques and people tell me that my work looks good. They like the way, it's got a high graphic quality to it. But, then I look at stuff like this and it just inspires me to like, all right, I know I can go more. I can do more. I can go to that next level. Look at that.
Right.
Conan. Or wherever. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Look, the muscles aren't like super perfect, right? They're not super perfect. But man, Is that a great. And look at what he did with the loincloth. I'm just gonna black it all in.
Well, why not?
Yeah. Why not? You didn't see
it breaks up the figure nicely, and it really, accentuates the belts and the scabbard. Oh yeah.
That's
yeah, that was a good one for him with all that black.
I mean, look at that.
Very nice.
Especially the images in the front, right?
Yeah.
You see how, because he's using the black close to the front and he's allowing enough space in the middle area to put in that detail, but even that image in the background, it looks like it's really not. It's lesser lines, but it helps to bring it closer to that background. And then he uses that circular contrast shadow and that rim like that to help to push that figure forward. So here's the first plane where these figures are, right? Zorro and the lady, that's the second plane, right? Then here's your third plane. So highest contrasting shadows in the front. In the middle, you have a nice mix of, the good, high quality line work and, the darks. In the back, you have a lighter line work use. but he creates that fourth dimension, that fourth layer that helps to push everything forward by adding this contrasting shadow up here and here.
Yeah, you know those people who take comic book covers, take multiple ones, and they cut them apart, and they make the 3D collages out of them. That's one that would really work well in that format.
There's your Wolverine with the thick arms.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pencil. That looks like a pencil image. Here's a cover that he did for Doctor Strange. Y'all forgot he did Doctor Strange for a minute, huh? 40 cents.
Wow.
Me, you, Manny. I don't know about the other people, but me, you, and Manny know for sure we remember 40-cent comics.
Dude, I remember 20-cent comics.
10-cent comics.
That's the cheapest I remember is 20 cents.
But look at this, man. I mean, that is just great. We're almost to the end here, so we're just kind of doing a Spartan
X. Oh gosh.
Remember that? That guy was Jackie Chan, wasn't it? I think it was.
Right.
And I think this came around the same time Rumble in the Bronx, maybe?
Maybe.
Around that era? What was this? What does this say?
Well, it's Image.
April. Doesn't say. It was Image. It's definitely in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that's when Rumble in the Bronx came out. Yeah, so there he is. Right there. Cole Pieces confirming that it was a Jackie Chan movie.
Got it.
Let me see if I got anything. Dude, but look at that. That's a gorgeous piece right there. So he took his time with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's just you look at it and it looks basic. It is not.
Nope.
Eric Hawkins is saying we're old because I remember 50-cent comics and 50 Cent. Agent saying I don't even know what that comic is. Once again, this is signed by Michael Golden. This is like I love that fact that I have the sketchbook. Marcus Gibbons is saying that 20-cent comics are priceless right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
They are. Adrian is agreeing with my Rumble in the Bronx analogy. And Colpies is also saying that, you know what? Colpies has a lot of like cultural knowledge for a guy that's only 40 some odd. He has a lot of wealth of information there. Okay, let's go back over here. Yeah, so listen, we're getting close to midnight, and we've been having a great time tonight, man. This almost reminds me of the funk music show that we did that got immediately taken down by YouTube, but it was a great show. Love that one. Oh
yeah.
And let me just read some of these comments. Adrian didn't realize that Michael Golden was an artist on the NAM. When I was a kid and would go to my father's best friend's house, his teenage son had a bunch of NAM comics, and I used to look at them and I couldn't read them. Man, you got to look at that. But the art and storytelling is captivating, and there were no superheroes in it. It's just about these soldiers in Vietnam, but it was man. Whew. The storytelling, it's just like a master class in how to tell a story in comics, man. And trust me, you got to do yourself a favor and you got to pick it up. I've got a collection, a trade paperback, and I've also got a bunch of the single issues of Anonymous. Great stuff. Let's see. Dark Admiral says, if I can remember right, Golden helped to co-create Rogue. Oh, that I did not know. That's pretty awesome. And Marcus Gibbons is confirming the fact that our funk music stream was a great stream. It was epic. I'm telling you, that thing was amazing. I loved it. I'm hoping that maybe I can share it privately for those people that are interested. But it was great. Let's see. A cold piece says I was going to mention that there was an arcade game first. This is Pablo. So Pablo remembers. He remembers the arcade game. Let me see. Pablo Mewar, yes, sir. In fact, because of Chinese piracy that was pretty popular in Argentina, we know the game is Spartan X. So Pablo in Argentina is confirming the fact that they had bootleg copies of Spartan X, and there was a sequel in it for Famicom. Oh, I'm telling you, there's a lot of knowledge that's being dropped here tonight.
I know, right?
This great pop culture stuff. And I was watching this video tonight, earlier today, about the way that Big Trouble in Little China came about, and what they did to change it. So they were talking about the original script, and the original script was supposed to take place like in the Old West, and when 20th Century bought it, they updated it when they gave it to Carpenter, and they had to rewrite the whole thing. You know, I think they had like 6 weeks to rewrite the whole script. They gave them 20. KG saying, yeah, that funk stream was awesome. Man, it was. And they gave him like $25 million and like a couple of 3 months to get the movie done. So they had to take a lot of shortcuts and stuff like that. And it really didn't do like super great at the box office initially. But over time, you know, obviously we all know it's a cult classic. I have seen that movie dozens of times myself, as many of us here probably have. But when he was talking about the original concept of how it came out, and I'm like, man, that would make an awesome comic. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of as I was talking earlier, and you and I were talking about, Trusty, that pretty much every story has been told, but it's just how you would tell it. So, like, how would you tell a, you know, Big Trouble in Little China and bring it back to maybe the original concept and see what you can do with it from there without having 20th Century like sue you or anything?
Right.
Because like I did a my own version of a sequel to The Last Dragon, and Timok is a good friend of mine, and you know, I actually worked with him on some things and some private projects and stuff that he did in the city, and you know, we talked, and you know, I was trying, well, you know, do you ever consider doing, yeah, you know, I'd like to do a sequel, but you know, they won't hire me because they think I'm too old now, whatever. So he was going to put this movie out called Master, which was kind of took place in China, and it was like a like a prequel to it, but he was trying to keep it on the low because he couldn't use I'm the Master, so he just called it Master.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch who you said. Who are you talking about?
Timok from The Last Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I helped him do some storyboards for that and did some costume designs and that sort of thing. I don't know how far he's gotten with that or what's going on with that, but who knows? I'd like to see something like that get done. But which leads me to the fact that right around the same time that he and I hooked up, I was writing my own version of The Last Dragon part, like the sequel. And I took it like 20 years in the future, and the main character in the story was going to be Shonuff, and you know, things obviously didn't go his way, but he was still around. But we all know that Leroy, you know, with the glow and all of that, made everything supposedly good. And so I was kind of going to delve into that and delve into his character. And I wrote out like 15 pages of the script, showed a few people, and they were like, oh, this is actually pretty good, man. You should do it, you know? Like, yeah, I know, you know. And but I tried to, like, Sony has the rights to it, and they kind of like, shut it out real quick. They're like, no, we don't want you doing this. So I've got this thing this treatment I was working on that I would love to do. Dr. Amro, thank you for joining us. We're almost going to be cutting out of the stream right now anyway. And
See you, Dr.
I got nowhere to go with it, right now. But I know there's a story there, and maybe I'll tell it with another project down the line. But
and you said this was the last dragon. Was that the Barry Gordy last dragon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Another one I never saw.
Excuse me?
I said it's another one that I never saw.
No, I heard you. You
just excuse me that you've never seen it?
Yeah, I'm giving you a hard excuse me. You've never. Go,
yeah.
Pete.
Sorry.
Can someone help? Can someone please help Trusty?
Hey,
I feel so bad.
I only a couple of months ago did I finally see Buckaroo Banzai for the first time.
Well, well, that was okay. I saw it the first time. Like, what the heck is this? It's a hot mess. It was like Tank Girl, which there was a kernel of a good story there, but definitely got away from what's doing. But Marcus, can you please help Trusty? He's never seen The Last Dragon. Dude, oh my God. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah? Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, just type it in, man. The Last Dragon. It's on Netflix.
I'm always looking for something to watch on Netflix.
Oh my God. That movie's like almost 30 years.
I know. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't see.
Oh my gosh. Were you a hermit growing up? You popped out enough times out of the cage to draw a comic. I can see that,
No, it's just that I just kept going back to see Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark all the time.
I hear you. KG is saying you had a deprived child. Marcus is suggesting he's giving you a hard, oh Lord. Oh, you need to have a movie night stream. Eric,
please help me.
Right now, Trusty. Oh my gosh.
It wouldn't be Monday if I didn't disappoint somebody.
In all seriousness, we need to put a movie list together for Trusty. He's probably never even seen The Thing either.
Well, I'm not into horror, so you would be right. Pretty much any horror movie I have not seen.
All right, that's fair. Oh man, that's crazy. That is fun. That right there, that comment kind of probably made the whole stream for me tonight.
I'm so pleased.
Listen, Marcus is hitting you with a hard dang. He added a couple extra N's and G's. Oh my gosh.
I've lost all respect now.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Trusty, we all love you though. You're a great talent and a great guy. But please go watch The Last Dragon. For the love of God.
Okay. You've convinced me.
Anyway, listen, I'm gonna end the stream right now. I want to thank my guest, Trusty. Trusty, can you please let the fine people know how they can get a hold of you, sir?
You can always reach me on Twitter at TrustySidekick3. DMs are always open. Nice.
All right. So guys, it's been guys and gals. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. This is an awesome stream tonight. Always, your boy El Guapo here. For all intents and purposes, Chango is done. I just have that one last piece that I'm waiting for photographs on for get drawn in the book. But it's done. I want to thank all the people that supported the campaign. I just want to update and let you know that I love y'all and I work hard to get to this point here. The pages are in the Dropbox. They're getting colored. They're getting lettered. Once we get the final edits on that, it'll go to print, and they'll arrive here, and we'll start shipping them out. But you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Cesar Feliciano, on Instagram at the artist Cesar Feliciano, also on Facebook. I have a TikTok account also, but whatever. Let's just stay with the basics: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the artist Cesar Feliciano. Also, if you want to send me an email or a message, you can reach me at elguapocomics@gmail.com. And finally, if you got any time, please give a like, a share, and if you haven't subscribed, by all means, please subscribe to my channel and let everybody know, because we do crazy fun streams. And hopefully this was entertaining for anyone. I want to thank my guest, Trusty Sidekick, for coming on tonight and showing us his beautiful work that he's working on, and just kind of talking about art and good stuff. So once again, thanks a lot, everybody. God bless you all. Happy Veterans Day that we are officially past, but I want to remember all our soldiers and veterans that have given their life for this country and for the freedom that we have to draw comics and talk about comics entertainment. So God bless you all. Good night.
Good night.